The Joe Rogan Experience.
Her brother, Dominic.
I hope she covers all that shit up with a big Gucci Mane ice cream cone. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
Gucci Mane put an ice cream cone on his face.
Yeah. Well, what's his name? And
It
Baby.
says Burr. Have you seen it?
No.
Pull up the picture of Gucci Mane ice cream cone
How
face tattoo.
about Big Baby, Birdman's oil drill on
He has
his
an
head.
oil drill
An
on his
oil
head?
drill going tattooed on the side of his head.
Does he really?
Yes, man. That's
He's
crazy.
got giant stars all over his head too, right?
It's insane.
Do you know who just tattooed his fucking head? Jason Ellis. He put a giant. Look at it.
Damn.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I saw
Look,
it.
it's got lightning bolts.
Shit.
Man, my ice cream be on fire.
Gucci Mane is crazy. Look at him. He put an ice cream cone on his
Damn.
face. It says Burr. You see it? You see it on the cone?
Yeah.
BRRR. And the tattoo guy was like, okay,
Cold as ice, man.
could you I'm gonna have to get you to request this on video. And then I need you to write this down.
Yeah.
Come on, man, just tattoo it. I ain't gonna change my mind.
Put butter pecan on my face, man.
Yo,
That's
dog,
crazy.
don't be giving me no vanilla ice cream. I hate vanilla. I want a cone, a good one, like a waffle type motherfucker.
Cookie dough ice cream.
No spoon, man. No spoon. I lick that shit up.
Them delicious cones with the upper level that is like styrofoam like. Yeah.
The craziest part are the lightning bolts. Put lightning on my ice cream.
But he's got other shit on his face
That's
too.
so
He's
good.
like
Sprinkles?
he's got like writing on his face too. He's
He
just
sure
like
does.
uses his face to draw on.
Can you see what it says under his
We're gonna
eye?
get-
Can you read what
He's
it
gonna
says?
get pissed off.
He has things on his eye, under his eye.
Yeah.
Oh, those are tattoos too. Oh my god.
Yeah.
It looks like it
Under
says,
his eye says something. What the fuck?
What's up, Boopy? Or some shit. What does that say?
It looks like
I see. What does it say?
1,000 veg. I don't know.
It's hard to see.
10 times 10 with the S on the end.
Some, yeah.
And on the other side, he has looks like a dove or something.
I'm
Like
from the
that.
Huntersville.
Yeah, that dude is probably irrational.
Gucci?
I don't know anybody today. I'm out of the loop.
I'm pretty out of it. I know stuff that like that because it's in the news, and I know mostly the music I grew up on. I'm not aware
Yeah.
of a lot of the new shit.
Well-
Gucci Mane, I know because, you know, like a son to me, but that's it.
There's so much music that was been made. When you think about the fact that from 1960 whatever to today, you know, you want to go crazy, you want to go Robert Johnson, you can listen to some shit recorded in the 30s and 40s, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But think about that till today. What a gigantic pile of music that is.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, there's so much out there. What a body of work.
Yeah.
All the different musicians in the 60s, the 70s, the 50s. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
There's so much music. It's like to come up with new stuff, it's like to really get me into it, it has to be like the Black Keys.
Spent just crazy amounts of money. Like,
Did he
I
blow
got
through all of
9
it?
cars and shit. Yeah, like he blew through a lot of it. He was on that Broke special that they aired, and he was just like, if somebody pulled up, you know, in like a Ferrari, you're like, yeah, that shit's hot. I gotta top that shit. So then he would go like that day. He'd be like, I got the Lambo with the brains blown out, man. Like just to top each other. Guys would just buy shit to show off, you know, to compete with each other on it.
They say that there's some ungodly number of people. It's like 80% of all NFL players are broke and in
Yeah.
bankruptcy within 2 years of retiring.
It's incredible. I mean, you know, the older I get, the more I understand the younger guys having no, like zero
sense.
and also zero like financial
Yeah.
IQ. Like they don't know.
no.
21, they're like, here's $3 million. And
Yeah.
they're like, what the fuck?
Yo,
Yeah.
let's get this party started.
You're 22.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Can you
I mean,
imagine?
it's crazy. But it's crazier when they're like, he played 10, 12, 16 years like Iverson, and he's blown through like $200 million. And you're
Is
like,
Iverson
oh.
broke now?
Yes. Yes.
And how old is he now?
He's 37, something like that.
And his body's not working right anymore.
Oh, he's out of the NBA, yeah. And he's trying to play, but he's run through well into 9 figures, you know.
Wow.
I mean, and that's you know, you have to consider he did endorsements,
Yo, 9 figures.
9 figures, dude.
Yeah, I make 7 figures.
Yeah.
Girls would be like, whoa, he makes 7 figures.
Yeah.
It's like, I make 9.
9.
I blew to it all.
Yeah, that's
Shit.
crazy, man.
Whoopsies.
It's crazy. The
$100 million.
it's so much. They interviewed one defensive guy on the special on the broke thing, and he was like, I don't know why, man, but he's like, everybody had a car wash, so we all he's like, we all had a fucking car wash, man. And that shit did not last. Like, we all spent money on a car wash.
We all bought a car wash. Yeah, man, you ain't got your own car wash.
And Bart Scott he was like, you buy shit that's unnecessary. He's not broke at all. And he's still playing, and he's like, I'm smarter with my money. But he's like, everybody has a stupid purchase. I bought a coat. I think it was made of wolf. And and he's like, I wore that shit once. And it was like $35,000. Dude, I got to tell you, Diaz, first of all, he got stopped in 3 different airports by like 8 different people this weekend.
Oh, by throngs of fans, you're saying?
Fans, TSA, were at the airport. And
did they want to check under his balls for weed?
He, first of all, my God, his tolerance, it's
Stunning.
Dude, I took a quarter of a bite of an edible.
You're brave.
Quarter.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, the very end of it. And 30 minutes later, I was just out of my mind. I mean, my eyes weren't even open, okay? And I could tell people were looking at me like they're like,
yeah.
when you're like, oh, I'm not hiding this at all. Like, this is bad. And he ate an entire one, like, and then he's like saying ridiculous shit, like shit that I feel like I get arrested for thinking it. Like, I can't play it back in my head. I was like, dude, shut the fuck up.
What was he saying?
I really can't say the main thing that he was. I can't.
Why?
It's not okay to say.
Why is it not okay to
It's
say?
just-
Does it have to do with ethnic groups? Or
A
anything?
lot of them, yeah. So many racial things that you can't say. But this one in particular is awful. I'll tell you, it's so awful. Like, I can't even spin it. I can't spin a joke.
But I have and this is one of the things that I've been on about lately. I have a real problem when people get upset at people that say shit that they don't really mean, but that it's awful, but hilarious.
Yeah, I agree.
Because, like, look how hard we're laughing.
I was
don't
in
even
tears.
know.
Yeah.
Look at the picture, you guys.
Yeah.
I don't even know what he said. I don't even know what he said to you, and I'm already laughing.
It's so
just
crazy.
thinking about all the shit he said to me in the past.
Of course. Well, he's going off about this thing. I'm standing there. I look like I'm gonna puke because I'm laughing so hard. This is in the airport, and he's around people. Like, he has no sense
give a
of like.
fuck.
No, he's like blah blah blah. blah. I was like, shut up, dude.
He doesn't give a fuck.
No, and I have tears. People looking by, and then he's like TSA, and this guy I look in the uniform looks over, and he's like, you got to look at this guy. And I'm like, dude, I'm all fucked up. Like, don't bring attention to me right now. And then that guy, he's like, hey, Joe Diaz, I'm a big fan. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me right now? I turn around and walk away. I was like, I'm leaving.
He's too high for this.
Yeah, I walk away. I leave him. I'm like, I don't want any part of this shit. And I buy a magazine that I leave at the counter. That's how high I am. I'm like, I want to get this magazine. And then I walk away from it. And I remember like 30 minutes later before we board, and I go back and it's sitting there, and I go, that's my magazine. And this lady's like, okay. And I go, I paid for it already. And she's like, okay. Like, go ahead and take that if you want. I was like, so out of my mind. But then we walk by, we go, and a fucking pilot comes by. You know, they have like they always have that double luggage thing, right? They're one bag on top of the other.
Yes.
The pilot bag.
Yeah.
He fucking walks by us, and he's like, hey, Joey Diaz. And I'm like, are you serious right now? And he's like, this is my airport. Everybody knows me at this airport. I'm like, really?
This is my airport.
Yeah.
Eugene,
And then,
Oregon?
No, this was in Burbank. He's like, I
Burbank.
run the Burbank airport, dog. And I'm like, okay. We then get stopped we land in Sacramento, and people stop him for pictures. Then the baggage handler stops him, asks him like 100 questions. He's like, I hate these fucking questions. This guy's asking way too many questions. No, okay. So we leave there.
Well, he's super high. He can't
Of
be just having
course.
conversations with people.
Then a family stops him. A lady with kids stops him for a picture. They all take a picture together. Like, it was nonstop. The best was that, this is the best part. So I take the quarter bite, right? And I'm completely fucking out of my mind. He eats an entire one. we sit down on the plane, and he starts talking to me. I'm like, shut up, man. Shut the fuck up. I cannot listen to you right now. Because I'm like shaking. Like I'm like, I got
So you told him to shut up because you're laughing too
yes,
hard?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm like, I can't hear you talk. Shut up. And he like looks around. He's like, anyways. And he opens up a second one, eats the second one. And of the thing I have a quarter bite of. So he's on 8 doses of what I'm on. And I'm like, Jesus Christ. So we go through this flight, and every time he looks at me, he goes, oh. And I'm like, dude, shut
You
up.
ever heard the Duncan story?
No.
He gives Duncan a cookie, and then he calls him an hour and a half later and goes, welcome to my world, motherfucker.
Dude. So we land, and as we're landing, I was like, man, I go, dude, I was pretty fucked up, man. And he goes, and I look at him because all I'm thinking is like, I can't believe how much more advanced you are than me. You know, it's like, like I cannot believe.
Oh, you mean tolerance-wise?
Yes, like it's like I can't believe I ran a mile and you just ran 40 miles. Like that's crazy to me. And we both finished at the same time. And then I go, so I'm amazed that he's not affected. I go, I can't believe how much that fucked me up. He goes, I almost had 3 panic attacks on that flight. And I was like, yes. It made me so happy that he was also fucked up. And I was like,
But he doesn't care. He still goes right back in.
Right back in. I go, I'm glad it's starting to wear off. He goes, not for me. I'm fucked up right now.
Yeah, his idea of going deep is so much deeper than your idea.
Yes.
He's breaking world records on a daily
Every time.
basis.
All the time.
He's at the bottom of the Marianas Trench with a shovel. And he's like, there's got to be a deeper spot. This is bullshit.
And the first thing he did as we get off that was like, let's smoke this joint. I was like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about, man? We're not smoking a joint. I can take a break.
He's a
There's
maniac.
no breaks.
He's
There's
a
no
fucking
breaks.
maniac. Yeah, well, he just goes through the whole day like that. And that's where, people would step in and say, well, that boy's got a problem.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. But he doesn't.
Yeah,
Because for a comedian,
Yeah.
it might be the best way to live life.
Yeah.
Just scared on a regular basis, and in between, laughing your dick off. Scared, laughing your dick off. Scared, laughing your dick off.
Yeah, he's the funny thing is like even his regular cadence, it so is out of the norm for other people.
Yeah.
That you see people react to him. It's more fun to even watch people like at the restaurant next to us react to him than it is almost to watch him. Like he's talking and I see them like they're like, Jesus, like this is like a fucking, it's like you brought in a pit bull to have lunch here. You know what I mean? They've never seen somebody so intense and animated and saying these crazy things. It's like you watch them react to Joey.
Right. Yeah, I know what you mean, man. It's just that they don't come along that often.
No, it's a rare thing. That's they're like, well, who's this guy?
Yeah, guys, and you go, oh, I get it. That guy's like a little bit of this guy, a little bit of that guy. He's a combination of. Joey's just like, what is that? Where'd that come from?
You want to kill somebody, you invite him over for dinner. What?
Oh, his logic.
Yeah.
How to get crimes committed correctly. Yeah, exactly. And then my favorite thing is he'll say something and go, you know what the fuck I'm saying? And then he just walks away.
Yeah.
Like he'll end on a strong point.
Uh-huh.
You want to kill somebody, you invite him over for dinner. Boom.
Boom.
He walks away.
Great sense of timing. Yeah, amazing.
It's a stand-up timing that he uses like in everyday life.
In real life, yeah.
Yeah. It's
in
like
real
he's never doing an act.
Yeah.
Because his act is his life, and his life is his act.
Yeah.
The way he talks is his act.
Totally.
That's like the best you could ever hope for. The best you could ever hope for is like a merging
of your
ability to be you off stage and on stage.
Yeah, I mean, look at like who everybody, or a lot of people, let's say, is like, a total master comedian. Basically talks in his voice, like Chappelle.
Yeah.
Walks up and is like tells you about his day.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like the highest form, right, of being a comic. Because you're like, this isn't even a thing. I'm just talking to you.
Yeah.
And like Diaz is like a version of that, where like he's just being Diaz. We know a guy who was like I tell the story now on stage of the guy who used to drive us,
Oh my God.
to the airport.
Ugh.
This was our driver,
Yeah.
like a regular guy, because we go to the airport so often. We use this, we found a cheaper car service. It's easier than dealing with like driving and parking.
Right.
And like he was, it was like a cheap ride basically. Older guy, and like all white hair, and was really professional. And then like after like 10 rides, it's one of those things where like when somebody's like Mr. Rogan, and you finally go, you can call me Joe.
Right.
It was like that kind of thing where I was like, it's Tom. He's like, it's Tom? I'm like, yeah. He's like, cool. Hey, man, let me ask you something. Like, everything changed as soon as I said, like, to be professional with me.
Oh, my God.
And he goes, can I ask you something? And I was like, yeah. And he goes, do you smoke weed? And I was like, yeah. I mean, I guess, yeah. He's like, do you want to smoke some now? And I was like, really?
It's like 5 in the morning.
Yeah. And
He's
it's
driving?
Yeah. And I was like, yeah, all right. And then
You said, yeah, right?
Yeah.
Okay, driver.
yeah, that's exactly what was in my
I'm
head.
comfortable with
Yeah.
you in my life.
All right.
And then he starts smoking, and then he goes, I can't drive unless I'm fucked up. That's a quote.
Oh,
yeah,
my
that's a quote.
This is like a scene in a
Why did you
movie.
say that while I was
This is
drinking?
like a scene in a Seth Rogen movie.
I swear to God. And then
This is a Judd Apatow movie.
it is, man. I swear to God.
And he's old as shit,
Yeah.
too. He's like 80, isn't
And
he?
he goes,
Really?
Oh,
oh,
fuck.
he's like 70s, and then he goes, and then he's like, this particular. It is early. He drives fast. He's like one of
it's
these.
the worst.
I've been driving 50 years in LA. We got to take this street and that street.
Oh,
And I was like,
no.
And I was like, I was basically like, keep it together, man. And he was like, I've been up since 3, and I'm like, he's all high and shit. And I start asking him, I'm like, have you done other drugs? He's like, oh, buddy, like I've done it all. And I was like, really? He's like, coke, heroin. He's like, there's nothing like smoking rocks. And I swear to God. And I was
He's
like,
like 70?
yeah. And he is flying through El Barrio, through the
we
old
used to live in
neighborhood.
the ghetto,
Yeah.
big time.
Oh, my God.
And so this is an El Salvadorian neighborhood. He's like, and we're going through lights, and he's like, look at that little brown one right there. I love that little brown one. I swear to
my God.
He was married to a Peruvian, and then he had like an El Salvadorian girlfriend. He's like, I love these little brown ones.
He had a one on the side?
Yeah, well, and he has like 5 girlfriends, and they're all like
and
20.
he's 70?
Yeah,
And they were all like 20?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. But
So-
wait. But now, wouldn't he be like we drive through the ghetto, and he'd be like, that's where I used to buy my crack there. Like, he would
Yeah,
point
he's like,
out where.
This neighborhood's got the
This
good
is-
stuff.
yeah.
I swear to God. So we're driving around, and I go, well, can I ask you something now that we're friends, I guess, And he's like, yeah, shoot. And I was like, what's it like to smoke crack? And he goes, oh, man. He's like, what I like to do when I smoke crack is like, I'll just sit in my apartment.
Wait a minute, stop.
Yeah.
Stop, don't say anything.
Listen.
Hold on. Did he say porn? He watches porn.
No.
No. Okay,
No.
go ahead. I'm sorry.
He goes, I like to look through the people, and I look around at what the fuck's and I see all this shit. I think about what's gonna happen next. I see people walking by, and I just kind of fucking freak out, And I was like, that sounds terrible, man. And he was like, it's part of the rush. That's the rush, What the fuck's gonna happen next?
You look through
Yeah.
the people
Yeah.
to see where the people are going to come get you.
That's his rush.
I had to stop you because everybody that I've ever talked to that smokes crack says they watch porn.
Oh.
Oh,
No, well,
really?
Henry did
Yeah.
say, I invited this girl over, and we fuck like animals.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
he would have...
Yeah, he did
Did I
say
his
that.
name?
He would have
Oh,
sex.
I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
It's all right.
Sorry, I didn't say his last
Gosh.
name.
No,
What was
I don't
that?
know his last name.
Henry the Ape.
So
Yeah.
the best is and this sounds like I swear this is exactly how it goes. I go, so do you still do that shit? And he goes, nah, man, no. He goes, well, every once in a while, but you know what they say: if you do something every once in a while, it's not that bad for you. And I go, I think they mean that about like pizza, like chocolate, not crack. And he's like, it's no big deal, buddy. I swear to God.
Every once in a while.
Crack.
Well, do you remember when the mayor of Washington, D.C. got caught smoking
Marion
crack?
Barry.
Yeah, with an
Yeah.
FBI
Oh,
agent
yeah,
in a fucking
man.
hotel room
Yes.
or an informant. Really?
She was
long
being
time
a
ago,
prostitute.
Yeah. You remember that shit? He was smoking crack.
And running the nation's capital.
Yeah, and then when they asked people about it, the greatest thing was when after he got caught, I remember this guy on TV. They say, "What do you think about the mayor getting caught smoking crack?" He goes, "Man, everybody smoke a little crack every now and then."
Every now and
He
then.
said, "Everybody
Hey.
smoke a little crack every now and then." This guy was on TV. He's like, "Come on, man, stop playing.
You're being ridiculous.
Why you stop playing?
Who doesn't?
Who doesn't smoke crack? Everybody smokes some crack a little now and then."
That reminds me of the first time I bought drugs. The first time I ever bought drugs.
Tell me about
Do you remember the first time you ever bought drugs?
bought it from Mary Hart,
you
right?
told me that you had a story.
The first time I ever bought drugs, I was in high school, and I went to a small high school, so I was trying to be like not make a thing to ask about it at first, you know, because you don't want it to get around and like be a.
So you were curious?
Yeah, I wanted to try stuff, but I didn't know who to ask because if you ask like at a small school, you're like it could blow up real fast.
Right.
That's how gossip traveled. So my friend Steve had just transferred from like the big high school, like from a high school with like 5,000 kids, and so it was like a weekend. And I was like, let's get a sack, and I think we had just seen Menace to Society, and we were like, yo, what's up? Like we were trying to totally be like hardcore guys. I'm like pulling the hat to the side, be like, let's do this, man.
Did you wear your hat to the side?
No, but I think you know, a lot of like throwing swag into shit and
Right.
just being like, you know, hey, let's get a sack.
You getting
And
your
just
blackness on? a little
Definitely
bit?
feeling it. 14, like, what's up?
Right.
Let's do this shit. I got your back.
Right.
Making shit up.
A little too white, right?
Yeah, and
So
so
uncomfortable with your existence.
totally. And then he's like, I know the guy. So this like a Saturday night, this like long green, like old school 70s Cadillac pulls up, and they're like, he's like, that's the dude. And this guy rolls the window down. He's like, yo, get in the back. And I was like, all right, cool. We get in the back, thinking like that's where it goes down. And Steve's like, yo, this is White Pete. And I was like, what's up, White Pete? Like, and he was called White Pete because they needed to give him a distinction for his name because he was the only white guy that ran with his crew, right? And he was like, we didn't have driver's licenses, so he was like exactly what we like, at that moment what we wanted to be in a couple years. Like he had like the whole like the oversized white tee and like, you know, gold
Earring.
chain, yeah, and fucking like fade. And he was like, "What's up? I'm White Pete." Like he talked like Snoop Dogg almost.
Oh.
Right. And so we were like, all right. And I thought he was like, so we're gonna go get it now. I was like, go get what? Like I thought we were just doing this in the car. We're gonna go get that sack, man. I'm like, oh, okay. So we start driving. We go 30 minutes in a car. We go to the next town over, which is Fort Pierce, which is definitely a shittier place, right? So we're driving through Fort Pierce, and we go from a main street to like single lane highways. You know, in Florida, there's like,
Oh, yeah.
right. So we're on a busy. Then we go to a single lane that has like canals on each side.
Ooh.
Yeah, and we're driving, and then we go from that to a dirt road, and then the dirt road off of that dirt road. Like we're driving down, like this is some forensic files shit. Like we're gonna end up on this
A lot
guy.
of woods.
Yeah, a lot of brush, groves, that kind of shit. And I was like, fuck, man. And at this point, like, I'm thinking about, like, Menace to Society. And I'm like, I want to be in that right now. But I'm feeling like, feeling really white. I'm like, really scared. And now it's night. And it, you know, it's like, because he came over in the evening already. So now it's pitch black outside. And we're on a dirt road off of a dirt road. Like, you could scream. There's nobody going to hear shit. And on the dirt road, up a gravel path, I see a light, and the light is from a trailer. So we pull up to the trailer, and we get out, and it's me, Steve, and White Pete. And we knock on the door of the trailer, and this dude opens the door, and he has this black guy that has like 6 dreadlocks. Like, you know, each dreadlock is like a size of like a king-size Snicker bar. He's got 6 Snicker bars coming out of his hair. And White Pete's like, what's up, Pat? And he's like, what's up, White Pete? And they give each other a hug, and I was like, oh, fuck, like, now this really is, like, totally Menace to Society shit, right? So I was like, what's going to happen? But I'm so trying to be cool about it. Like, so trying to be cool about it. And then he's like, these white boys looking for a sack. And he's like, yeah, we could do that. So we go inside. Mind you, we're looking for $20.
Right.
And that for us.
So how far have you driven? How long has it taken?
This is, from this point, it's like, we're already 30 miles south of the city we started.
Why would you just say, like, never mind after 10 miles?
Because
Fucking
I
20
wanted
sack?
that
Why
to
doesn't
think-
White Pete just sell it to you? Why does he have to
Dude.
take you on the trip to the guy's house? I would.
These are all questions I have, but don't have the balls to ask. Like I'm in my mind, I'm like I'm 14, 15. I'm
Wow,
like,
man.
I'm not saying shit to this dude.
right.
I'm cool. What's up? Let's get a sack.
Right.
Still trying to be cool. So we go into his trailer, and he's like, all right, we're going to do that sack. We'll be back in 10 minutes. And I was like, who'll be back in 10 minutes? And he's like, we will be. You stay here and watch my place. And I was like, what? Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Is what I'm thinking. But then I just go like, yeah, cool, totally.
So
Like, I'm
you're
not-
in his trailer.
and he's like, watch it for me. And I'm like, oh, no. Like, I'm feeling like that, like real fear. But I go, yeah, no problem, man. Like, I watch people's houses all the time for him. Like, totally fucking
Right.
terrified.
Right.
And then he goes, like, you walk in the trailer, you're in the living room, because that's the way a trailer is, right? You walk into it, there's a bedroom to the right. He's like, wait in here. On the bed, he's like, there's a 45 and a 12 gauge. And he goes, anybody comes in my house, you shoot him. And I was like, right. And then he's like, except for my mama. My mama comes home, don't shoot her. And I was like, got it. And except I kept trying to be cool about it. I was like, yeah, like that's what's up. I know what you're saying, man. Go get that sack. Totally like trying to be like. He was like, all right. They walk out. They leave me in his trailer with 2 guns and a fucking message to shoot everybody but his mother. And I just sit there and I watch the MTV Video Music Awards. And the whole time, like every show that comes, I'm rocking. And I'm actually hoping that it's an intruder versus his mom, because I feel like if it's his mom,
She might accidentally shoot her.
Or how is she going to react to my explanation? Like, Pat just told me to wait here. Well, he's getting some weed for me, but I'm supposed to shoot everybody but you. Are you cool with that? And she's like, yeah, it happens all the time. Like, how are you going to react to this? So I'm having a panic attack. They come back. We get back in with White Pete. He drives us back, and I'm sitting there. I'm like, what the fuck, dude? That was the worst shit ever. Like, I'm fucking terrified. He's like, yeah. Him and Pat, Steve and Pat became like best friends. So they became like super close. Like that was like his guy. He would go to, and I'd be like, no, dude, I don't want to hang out with Pat at all. And like 6 months later, when Steve got his license, we went. He was like, you want to get some weed today? I was like, yeah. So where we go? We go to Fort Pierce. Pull up to Pat's, and I'm like, God damn it! And like,
so you remembered how to get there?
He did. Steve had started going there all the time.
Oh my God!
We pull up to his trailer this time. He gets out now. And this time, like, well, they're friends, so this is probably gonna be a much quicker thing. He comes out, he jumps in the back, and he's like, all right, let's roll. And I was like, no, like we're gonna fucking look for a sack again. Like I thought you just have this shit, man. Like, so this time we went to this, but this is the thing. Pat scared the shit out of me the first time. But that second time, he saved our life, actually. Because we went from his trailer the second time, where he jumped in the back, went to Avenue D, which is the fucking shitty street in Fort Pierce. Like, if you're going to... Like, every city, you have, like... I don't know, whatever city you're in, they're like, that's... Like,
Yeah.
Have you ever been to a street where you see open drug dealing, where there's not even some type of facade?
Los Angeles.
Right, but you've been down a street where there's no pretense about it. There's just, like...
Los Angeles.
Which part of?
We were
LA?
filming Fear Factor. We were actually filming the Playboy Playmate edition of Fear Factor.
Downtown area?
And we were watching people sell drugs, smoke crack right there.
Right
we were in
there.
a crane,
Yeah.
and we're like, I go, look, they're smoking crack. And the girl's like, oh my God, they are smoking crack.
No, and like,
I'm like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
No one's protecting us. We're up here in a crane.
That was exactly like this, where we pulled up in Steve's car, and the windows come down, and we just get surrounded. Like the car got surrounded by 6 guys. And they reach in their jackets, and they go this one guy goes, y'all look familiar. And this other guy goes, yeah, y'all look real familiar. Y'all ever been here before? And when somebody says that, you look familiar, have you been here before? How would you answer that? I'd just say,
Nope.
Nope. Right. And exactly at that moment, I go, no. And Steve at the exact same moment goes, yep. Yes.
I hate that shit.
Oh, man. And then they're like, see, I told you, man. Y'all look like them white boys that have been snatching bags around here. I was like, oh, fuck. Like, you look like the white boys that have been taking bags from guys.
Wow.
I'm like, no, dude, that's not us. And Steve's like, but we have been here before. I'm like, will you shut the fuck up? Pat is in the back, like, hold on. And he gets out and, like, walks over, talks to all of them like like he's the ambassador.
Right.
And, like, I don't know what fucking, like, I own these guys. They're with me.
Right.
Like, fucking, and they totally let us go. But if without him, we would have been fucked.
What's that noise, Brian?
What is that noise?
Somebody's phone.
That's not mine.
It's me. Pat.
Pat is still out. I don't know what happened to Pat. And White Pete, who knows what happened to
Not
White
good
Pete.
things.
Probably not good things, man.
You should Facebook
Can you Facebook Pat?
But
Pat
that
will
was-
be the next person that makes up a fake Twitter account.
That's a real I had real fear. You
Oh,
know,
yeah?
when you're like,
For a good fucking reason.
oh, like when you feel your stomach drop and you're like, what's going to happen right now? Oh, my God.